Make them fuckers move around you, kinda like sound do. Break out of everything that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho, get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats, jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that, hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that, yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compare soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face much dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate, is God real or not? Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah. This that hip-hop body rock, hardcore karate chop, neo-Nazi nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame. He's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid, the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play no. I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your juggler when I'm on stage. Until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it how I do, it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. I cruise the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses, I make bumping in your system. I mean, banging it, and I'm still hanging it. And I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample from me, so get up.
He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water. 2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No,
Greatest fucking Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
Fuck.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 158. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I'm your other wonderful co-host, Malin. And Jalen, before we go any further, I got 3 words for you, baby. Big Penix energy. Huskies pumping and plucking them ducks, baby.
Very nice. Nestor is here. He's just grabbing something real quick, so we'll be right back. But our special guest, of course, for another first half in a row. I don't know how many weeks it's been, but Junebug, what's going on, June?
What's up? What's up? Back again.
Thank you for returning. I'm shocked we have not scared you off in the past couple months here, but Nestor, what is going on?
All good, man. I love the weather here in Sarasota. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's been nice and cool.
Yeah, cooling off. Gentlemen, would you like to open up the show how we normally do?
There you go. Oh, wait. Gotta have the Husky W out here. There we go.
Look at that.
There you go.
All right,
Cheers,
Nestor, you
everybody.
need help opening that thing? You just place it on the table and then push down.
I am, but... Oh, shit.
There you go.
I've been such a caveman all my life.
Did that actually
Nestor
work?
tried to say he couldn't drink because he didn't have a bottle opener for a Stella. And I was like, that might be the most bitch thing I've ever heard of in my life. Like, you just saw me open 6 bottles of beer at the studio last week without a bottle opener.
Folks, thank you for joining us for yet another week. If you're brand new to the show, we are, of course, an NBA and NFL podcast. Occasionally, we dabble in some other stuff, but that is usually what we are talking about. We live stream the show every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we do that on YouTube. So if you were not aware of that, you click on the first link down in the description below. It will take you to the YouTube version of that episode, and then you can click subscribe, and you can like the episode. You can leave a comment, do whatever you want. But if you want to watch us live, it's right here on YouTube, the Malheims Media YouTube channel. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time every Wednesday night. With that being said, let's hop into this week's first topic. And we are going to give a nice little recap of week 6 in the NFL. It's flying by. It's flying by this season, but week 6 was an interesting one. We have some no more teams that are undefeated anymore. Everybody's down to earth now. Eagles took an L to the Jets, and, of course, the 49ers took a big L to the Browns. So we're going to start with that one. Malin, let's start with you. What did you learn from the 49ers' loss to the Browns?
I didn't really learn anything that we haven't already talked about or really known. Purdy is not as good without the weapons around him. He's pretty much the equivalent of C.J. Beathard when he doesn't have all the stars aligning for him. Because everyone wants to talk about the fact that Purdy hadn't lost a game, right? Purdy hadn't started an NFL game without Christian McCaffrey, CMC, running in his backfield, putting up MVP-like numbers the second half of last year and the first half of this year. Then you lose Deebo Samuel, listen, if Deebo's your number 2 wide receiver, you got a pretty stacked wide receiver room. Because Brandon Ayuk has just been balling since he came into the league. So all of a sudden, it's Purdy without Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, without CMC. He's only got Kittle and Ayuk, and he was pedestrian. I don't even think he had 100 yards passing going into like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Yes, it was raining. Yes, all of a sudden, all the Niner fans wanted to point out that the Browns have the number one defense in the NFL. Okay. Plenty of other teams have beat them so far this year with their number one defense. And I didn't hear 49er fans scared about the Cowboys' number 3 defense because they put a bunch of points on the number 3 defense. Sorry, Jumbo. I'm just making a point. I apologize. So they weren't really worried there. They just thought they were going to go up into Cleveland and drop 30 unquestioned on the number one defense in the NFL. And not only that, you lost to a backup quarterback. Like Deshaun Watson decided he didn't want to play again. I mean, can we even just talk for a second about how there was a quarterback with $230 million guaranteed? It is just deciding not to play NFL football. Like, could you imagine what the Browns could possibly be like right now if they had Baker Mayfield? Wild.
Yeah.
They dumped him after he tore his labrum. And look at him now. I mean, the Bucs have a winning record. Only Tom Brady's been able to do that in the last decade. That's a pretty big goddamn deal. So I don't know, man. The defense was good, but at the same time, they allowed a backup quarterback to score on them late. Committed some penalties. There was one questionable penalty that I guess wasn't, roughing or not roughing the passer, but you guys know, unsportsmanlike conduct. There was an unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of the fourth quarter. But the Browns won that game. I'm not going to say that the Niners were exposed. I still think they have a top 3 roster in the NFL, but they only have a top 3 roster in the NFL when everybody is healthy. And up until now, they have not had to deal with any injuries like other teams have had to deal with. Okay. And so we're going to see what it's really like going into the middle and the second half of the season. Let's see if some injuries start to poke their ugly head and see what happened to this team, because they stayed relatively healthy the second half of last year and the first half of this year. I mean, that's got to be the longest stretch that CMC hasn't pulled some sort of muscle. So I don't know. I don't think we learned anything. I think it just validated everything that we already thought.
Right.
Well said. June, what'd you learn?
Well, I learned that the 49ers don't have any depth. I mean, once their big 3 went down, they had nobody to back them up. And I thought the biggest loss of the injuries that really hurt Purdy was Trent Williams. I mean, Trent Williams just protects his blind side. That's what that guy does. That's what he does. And when he went down, Purdy got a little bit rattled and he couldn't make the throws. He was throwing into the dirt. He was overthrowing people. He was missing Kittle. He started missing Ayuk. He didn't start, like you said, Malin, he didn't have 100 yards going into the fourth quarter. He had like 77 yards. And he only got to 100 yards because he had that the big hit to Ayuk, I think it was.
Yep, at the end.
Yeah, so I think that hurt him even more without having McCaffrey and without having Deebo Samuel. He got rattled, and it exposed him, not the team. The 49ers aren't exposed, but it exposed him to seeing just like the Eagles did last year. Put a little bit of pressure on the guy, and he doesn't get to turn around and hand the ball off to McCaffrey. He gets a little bit rattled. So
he looked like an Iowa State quarterback.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
Nestor, what'd you learn?
Well, I think we can it allows us to just stop hearing ESPN talk about how dominant the Niners are. Like they're this unbeatable team that's just gonna finish the season with 1 loss or undefeated. Because the way ESPN talks about them, it's like they're practically unbeatable. Brock Purdy, yes, he's a product of the system around him, but I feel like that's what most teams want, right? If you give him the playmakers, that he does a good job. I don't think they were looking for, a star QB, but a guy that, look, we got all these playmakers around you. Just do a good job, and we can get to the Super Bowl. Um, he did put them in a position to win, which is something that you have to consider. Because if they make that field goal, they win.
You know,
So that's something you gotta keep in mind. But other than that, I don't say there's anything else we can really take from this game. Like Malin said, it just validated a lot of what we already know, and I am a little surprised by how good the defense was in this game for the Browns. I'm not saying it's really impressive defense, but because they have taken L's to like the teams that I'm like, how are you losing if your defense is so top three? What is happening? But I am surprised in this game at least they put a lot of pressure on Purdy, and he had to make a lot of those high pressure like passes that got him a little bit into trouble. So
okay.
and that's
Hey,
about
can I
it.
say
Yep.
one thing before you go, Jalen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's why I don't give Purdy credit for that last drive. Is that and I hate that teams do this in the NFL. There's a minute left, minute 15 left in the game. You go into this prevent defense
Mm.
that you go away from what kept them out of the end zone of field goal range all game long. You go into
Our
this
Miami
prevent
defense.
defense, and they start getting in all these chunk yards. And that's exactly what happened. They got burnt on the prevent defense. And so, no, I don't give Purdy a whole lot of credit in that. I mean, yeah, the safeties backed up 25, 30 yards in case he wanted to go deep to Ayuk. They were giving up the middle of the field so much on that last drive. For the number one defense in the NFL, their prevent defense was pretty goddamn terrible.
Yeah, you just took the words out of my mouth. Overall, Purdy played an okay game when you're taking the totality of it. But that last drive was just kind of you saw it coming. Like there was only a minute and so many seconds left, and that's just what every team seems to do now, where they just nothing cheap, nothing deep. You can have everything in the middle of the field as long as it just stays right out in front, and they just inched their way up. I'm pretty sure there was like a pass interference call in there on a third down that helped them keep the drive alive. So it was like I still don't know why so many teams do this, but they're just like, we'll live with going overtime. We just really don't want them to take that deep shot. If I'm the Browns, I'm thinking, hey, if Brock Purdy beats us on a deep ball, so be it. But let's see if he can actually do that. This is not Patrick Mahomes here or Josh Allen. Like, let's see it, because he's yet to prove that. So
They stopped blitzing everything.
right,
exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the media is so like clickbaity because they're talking about this team is unbeatable. Now, before we get into this weekend, I heard something about this. I'm sure we'll get into it later, but the Eagles and the Miami Dolphins. Oh, it's a preview of the Super Bowl. I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Fans playing, girls screaming. What are we doing right now?
I've actually heard, I've actually felt that when I'm listening to some of these bigger shows, right, the ones that actually get paid to talk about sports, I'm not jealous or jilted or anything like that. The Stephen A. Smiths of the world, forehead, it's like a fucking biodome, but whatever. I've actually been hearing all of these shows like almost giving the Niners a pass.
Right.
yeah,
And they're not talking about the fact that, they're all using the excuse of, Purdy lost his weapons. And I've been yelling at my TV. It's a good thing I got like 5 or 6 of them because I damn near want to break one. I'm like, yeah, he did what he did because he didn't have all them fucking weapons. What if he doesn't have weapons? And Jalen, you said he had an okay game. He was 12 of 27 for 125 yards. He had a 35-yard completion on that last drive. 12 of 27?
he
That's
got
under
them
50.
within a field
Jalen-
goal of winning the game. I think he played all right.
But
And,
Jalen,
and that was he only threw a 5-yard
No.
pass.
Prevent.
He only threw a
Prevent.
5-yard pass too.
Yeah. Ayuk did all the fucking work. We saw him sailing balls skipping it off the grass. He looked like Baker Mayfield in Cleveland with a torn labrum. That's why I said he was a poor man's Baker Mayfield. He looked like Baker Mayfield when he had his torn labrum, just throwing the ball everywhere but where the receiver was. So you really saw how important Christian McCaffrey is to this.
Yeah.
To this offense. I think the Niners could survive without Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
But they need CMC. Big time.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on this again in the community comments. So
Okay, let's go ahead.
we'll be back on this. But moving on to it's a little out of order here, but moving on to the Cowboys and Chargers game on Monday night. Another great game between these two teams. June, we will start with you. This being your team, did you learn more about your Cowboys or the Chargers in this game?
No, I mean the Cowboys are 9-1 after a loss since 2021. So I knew the odds of them winning is pretty high. So what I saw the Chargers, and I don't know, the media, everybody fell in love with Justin Herbert. He had his opportunity to tie the game or win it. He had an opportunity to beat the Cowboys. You got the Cowboys' old offensive coordinator. He played with Dan Quinn for 2 years. He know what Dan Quinn likes to do. And you and your offensive coordinator could not come up with a game plan to beat that defense. And oh, by the way, you're missing Trayvon Diggs. Now, Bland is anything but Bland, but you and your offensive coordinator should come up with a better plan than this. I mean, yes, they pressured him all game long, but they didn't sack him to that last play, next to the last play. So I think that what we learned is that Justin Herbert may not be as good as advertised.
Oh.
I think that's something we have to take that in consideration. At some point, we have to say, is Justin Herbert a good quarterback? In the playoffs last year, you get a 27-point lead and you blow it. Okay? He can't win his division. He can't beat the Chiefs. He can't win his division. When are we going to start talking about him as just a mediocre quarterback? He's Brad Johnson 2.0. That's exactly what he is.
Mother.
Ouch.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
Hold on. Hold on a second. This just became like a 1 a.m. show. He turned this into Justin Herbert being the next Brad Johnson. That team wouldn't even have been in the playoffs if it wasn't for Justin Herbert. Everybody else on the goddamn team gets hurt. All of them. They all take turns. It's like they draw straws. Who wants to go on IR next? Like Eckler and Allen and Williams and all them bitches, Bosa included. Staley is the one that's fucking idiot. He cost him a playoff berth 2 years ago against the Raiders. Then he's just like Dan Quinn and Shanahan against the Patriots in the Super Bowl when you're up by as much as it were against Jacksonville. Like, what type of fucking play calling you want to do? But you want to talk about Justin Herbert? The man's got 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions this year. Almost 1,500 yards. For his career, he's a 67% completion percentage. He's got over 100 touchdowns and less than 40 interceptions. The man balls. He is as advertised. The only problem is everybody else got the softest of soft tissue that you've ever seen in your fucking life. Or brittle bones. Fire the strength and conditioning coach. Fire Staley. I don't give a fuck what you have to do. Give this man some help. I firmly believe you put Justin Herbert with the Kansas City Chiefs. Same deal. Same deal. It's all about what you go to. If Justin Herbert was on the Philadelphia Eagles, they might win that goddamn Super Bowl. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts. He's only had one good year in the NFL. Herbert's had 7 good years in the NFL. What I learned about in this game, though, is that the Cowboys need a goddamn running game. Pollard, 2 yards a carry, 15 carries and 30 yards. 15 carries for 30 yards, Pollard?
Yeah.
Amen.
Damn. Like, you got Zeke up in New England eating soup right now, wishing he was playing for Dallas. He could at least average 2.5 yards a carry. You got Dak. Dak played a good game.
Yeah.
21-30. He had over 250 yards. He was the leading rusher in that game. Like, he played really solid, but they need a running game because the more you just want to put it all on Dak, which I think is kind of bullshit. Okay. I don't know how Jalen Hurts has had a worse year than Dak Prescott so far, but yet everybody is making all these excuses about Jalen Hurts, and he keeps getting this pass in the media, but Dak gets just blown up every chance he gets. And it's not just that he plays for the Cowboys. It's like one good year of Jalen Hurts, and people are like, well, you're a top 3, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. It's like, how he's playing right now, pretty goddamn average. You just lost to Zach Wilson. So let's calm down. But no, Herbert, man, you just okay, Junebug.
Okay, you know what? I'll give him Phillip Rivers then. I'll give him Phillip Rivers.
You got me defending an Oregon quarterback 5 days after we just whooped their ass. That's not right. You did that on purpose.
I did.
You did that on purpose. That feels dirty. I need a shower. Not a cold one either. I need to bathe.
Nestor, go ahead.
Yeah, I learned nothing this game. Dak had a great game. Yeah, I'll second that. They need a better running game. The Chargers are just the same Chargers from week 1 that I saw against my Miami Dolphins. They're getting lit up. Big plays, big passing plays. The coach is bad. Brandon Staley's just terrible for this team. And they had Herbert scrambling a lot. I think it was saw a stat, it was like 42%. One of the games he's been pressured the most in. And he still came up with some pretty good plays. Who's the wide receiver they're missing? Is it
Mike Williams?
Joshua Palmer? Okay.
The
Yeah,
Chargers.
I feel like not having him is a problem because Joshua Palmer's, decent player, but he's not him.
And Allen's
But
gonna get
yeah,
hurt.
all in all, yeah. And they look like their running backs are still a little bit banged up. So
They all get hurt, man.
Yeah, because now they're
everybody
defenses know
back
just to
is hurt
key in or double on Keenan Allen. So Justin Herbert's kind of safety net is being taken away. I didn't really learn too much from this game. Dak played really, really well. I got to give him his flowers. Dak usually once a year will have that really good game where you just can't say anything negative about him. Like, he played a great game, and that was his one. So there's a lot of football I've
Man,
seen.
he's been playing
Damn.
good. He said we get one game a year, but we can't say nothing negative about him. Okay, see, now you guys got me defending Dak Prescott. You guys are trying to. Jalen.
ESPN is gonna be like, I felt his form could have been better. We'll see next game though if we keep it up. Damn.
The man's got like a 68% completion percentage and almost 175 touchdowns for his career. Hasn't even thrown 70 interceptions. He's not bad.
I don't think he's
I think
bad.
he's
He's
better
all
than
right.
Jalen Hurts. Okay, who's better, Jalen Hurts or Dak Prescott?
Dak's better. Dak's more of an all-around quarterback. Dak's a better.
Come on. Don't
Dak's
go
more of a
off
pa-
of 1 year.
Dak is a more pocket present quarterback.
Jalen
Jalen Hurts not
about to
standing.
turn this into a 1:30 show. I can see the look on Jalen's face right now.
It's hard to
Jalen
give.
can stand in. He can't stand in the pocket and make those passes. He cannot do it. Most of his big plays come out of the pocket, stuff like that. But if you ask him, do what Kansas City did last year. They made that man stand in the pocket. That's what they made him do. And that's his weakness.
So I just said that Dak Prescott has about 175 touchdowns and less than 80 interceptions, right? And he's completing 67% of his passes. So for the career of Jalen Hurts, this heralded goddamn QB that lost the Super Bowl, to me he's like a Matt Ryan without an MVP, completing 63% of his passes with 51 touchdowns and 26 interceptions. He's got just as many he's got like 2-to-1 touchdown interception. That's like Brett Favre numbers. That's if in the mid-90s NFL, that's awesome. He's probably winning an MVP in the NFL in the mid-90s, but this is 2023. You can't have a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. And don't get me on the running stats and the touchdowns that he scores with running ball, because if people wouldn't touching his tushy, wouldn't be getting them goddamn touchdowns. With the goddamn tush push. Somebody called it the brotherly love shove or something. I was like, yeah, you Philly people probably like to touch a lot of ass. Sick son of bitches. Women out there double fisting cheesesteaks. No. Okay, Jalen, no, you got to give me an answer. Who's better? He's about to ignore the stats.
I mean, it's hard to compare someone who's been in the league for almost a decade to someone who's been in for like half the time. But if I had the choice of who I was going to take right now, I'm taking Jalen Hurts.
God bless you.
But, I mean, hey, Jalen Hurts got to a Super Bowl and damn near won it. But
yeah, with more talent around him.
Okay.
That Eagles team is stacked.
Dak's never had talented teams.
Yeah, his rookie year was the most talented team he's ever been on.
So he's had pretty talented team.
Jason Garrett is a coach.
He's never been as good. CeeDee Lamb, do we really want to talk about CeeDee Lamb? Like, CeeDee Lamb is actually like a true number one wide receiver.
What?
Amari Cooper's doing more in Cleveland right now than CeeDee Lamb is doing in Dallas right now.
You don't think CeeDee Lamb's a top 5 receiver?
Tony Pollard is the starting running back for the fucking Cowboys right now. Okay? Who do the Cowboys got on defense right now? Micah Parsons?
They've got one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Okay, first of all, one of, but not the best. TJ Watt and Bosa both playing better than him. He just getting more shine because he plays for the Star. Okay, TJ Watt's having a much better year than Michael Parsons. He's just getting the shine because he's got the star on the side of his helmet. Gilmore, we talking about Gilmore? No, we're not. No, ain't nobody talking about Gilmore in the Cowboys.
We were talking about him on Monday when he had the game-winning interception.
No. Yeah, for like half a second. The Philadelphia Eagles have more talent on their roster.
I don't want to hear that.
What?
Dak's had talented teams.
Not as talented as Philly.
I would say so. But that's neither here nor there. We need to move on. We'll be here for a long time.
You are something else.
I will say on that same game, though, speaking of Tony Pollard, my work fantasy league, the person I was playing, their last player to go was Tony Pollard, and I was up by like 16 points or something like that. I had nobody left. And I was up by like 4 points in the fourth quarter. And I was just like praying. I'm like, hold on. Just hold on. And that, I don't know if you remember, but that one pass that Dak threw to Tony Pollard in the end zone, when it was just on his hands, I had a heart attack. I thought he was going to bury me right there.
Oh, God.
As much as he had 15 rushes for 30 yards and a two-yard average, he did have a good receiving game. It was like 6 catches for 80 yards or something. So he probably had some points.
Yeah.
Man, Jalen almost shit himself.
I was very close. I was a Tony Pollard touchdown away from soiling my shorts, but anyway.
But I will say this before we move on. If the Chargers wanted to trade Justin Herbert to the Cowboys, I would take him.
Wait a minute. You can't say that Dak is better than Jalen Hurts and say that Herbert is an average quarterback and then say that you
But
would
they're
take
younger.
Herbert
He's younger,
on
and
your team. What?
but you
Has
gotta
there been a
understand,
He's a young
chemical spill
gentleman.
somewhere?
the Cowboys have something that the Chargers don't have, and that's an actual quarterback's coach. The Chargers don't have that, and I think that's what he's been missing. Justin Herbert, Kellen Moore is not the answer for him as the offensive coordinator. It's not.
Well, he certainly wasn't for Dak Prescott either.
Well,
I think
but
carbon
you
monoxide
yeah.
thing is going off in your house right now with Luke. And you.
Let's move on to the Sunday night game between the Bills and the Giants. This was kind of a snooze fest for most of the game.
Oh God.
And we almost had another when Damian Harris went down and was, laid out on the field for a second. It was kind of feeling a little reminiscent from last year, especially the names.
Goddamn inactive DeMar Hamlin thing.
If you just heard the names, DeMar Hamlin, Damian Harris, like it's very similar. But luckily, I think he'll be all right. But anyway, let's start with Nestor. Are you buying or selling Bills stock right now?
I'm gonna go off on. I'll go off, but I'm gonna go after Josh Allen a little bit here because this is why I'm so surprised that the Dolphins went over there to Buffalo and then we had a game that looked like from another like multiverse. Cause none of how I expected it to go down, it went down. Like it was just weird. But we took the L. Everything that happened before that game and after that game is exactly what I would expect the Bills to perform like this season. Like very mediocre. I saw it last season. Just Josh Allen's decision making is awful, and for the Bills offense, the Bills are talked about as not just a playoff team, but a team that supposedly eventually you would expect them to get to the Super Bowl, or that's their that's what they're trying to aim for. They're not just trying to go to the playoffs. And I saw it last season, and I see it even more pronounced this damn season. Josh Allen's decision making is terrible. Sometimes he just doesn't lean on Stephon Diggs. I'm not just saying that because he's on my fantasy team. I'm just saying he doesn't lean on Stephon Diggs as much as he should. You know what it is for this team to get shut down for 3 quarters? That is in no way, shape, or form a Super Bowl team. No, gone. Just erase that thought. If you're a Bills fan right now, man, it's not looking good for you. And the fact that the Giants almost pulled off a win, if they would have just not been so fucking inept, if they were just not so terrible, but they're so good at being completely horrible and making really bad decisions.
Great at it.
With absolutely at all parts of the game, they would have had a W. Half of Josh Allen's passing yards came after those 3 quarters. That is insane. In those 2 touchdown drives they had at the end. This team, I feel like when they play a really good team, again, they're gonna get shut down. They should get shut down.
Okay. You're gonna.
You're gonna defend Josh Allen, aren't you?
You guys keep making me. Let's go ahead and talk about Nestor. Did you know that Tua and Josh Allen both have a 71% completion percentage? Did you know they both do? Yes or no?
Yes.
No, you didn't. Shut up. The only difference between these two quarterbacks is that one is Tyreek Hill and one doesn't, and I'll explain in just a second. Because both of them damn near the same completion percentage, 71.7, 71.8 completion percentage. One has 13 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. One has 14 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Okay? One has like 200 more yards passing to the other quarterback, and again, that's why you got Tyreek Hill. They're damn near the same fucking quarterback, Nestor. So everyone keeps talking about this year, this bad year that Josh Allen is having. The difference between someone like Tua and Josh Allen is the running game. Like Miami's got A-Chain and Mostert. Boy, do the 49ers probably wish they still had most of that after CMC got hurt. CMC and Tyreek Hill have combined for, I think, 17 touchdowns, which is the most between two players since the merger in 1970. The difference is the running game, the Miami Dolphins. It's not Josh Allen. Josh Allen is not the reason why they're struggling the way they're struggling. They have similar offenses. They got similar talent in receiving core, except I think we all agree that Waddle and Tyreek Hill are better than Diggs and Davis, right? Like, Diggs is really good, but he's not Tyreek Hill, but Davis is nowhere near Waddle, right? It's the running game. Can you guys name starting running back of the Buffalo Bills?
Nope.
Yeah, no. The only starting rough, like, if Thurman Thomas right now wanted to suit up, he'd probably get
Latavius.
Latavius, he just looked it up. Shut up.
I did.
I don't even know. I don't even know if that's. You might be making.
Latavius.
I'm about to look at Latavius. What?
It sounds right.
What? Oh, he just said
sounds right.
Latavius.
Right.
Okay, first of all, we're in Buffalo. We're not in. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. I'm
I'm sure he's a.
Oh, is it Dalvin Cook's brother?
Hold on. It is Latavius
No, it's
Rashad
not
Murray.
Dalvin Cook. It's James Cook. People, you said Dalvin Cook. Shut up.
Yeah, his brother.
Latavius Rashad Murray.
So
Dalvin
you got
Cook's
James
brother.
Cook is your
What are you talking
starting
about?
running back. Starting running back is James Cook. You ain't getting none of that James Cook this year. So I mean, yes, I think the defense is failing Buffalo. I don't think they're very good. When DeMar Hamlin is your best recognized cornerback, it's only good enough to have his number retired on the ambulance they had to carry his ass off in last year. Your defense isn't very good. Stop it, Junebug. You know to expect this out of me now. So the Buffalo defense is not great. They let the backup quarterback, do some shit. Tyrod Taylor. Did anybody even know that Tyrod Taylor was still in the league?
Yeah.
Didn't know that Tyrod Taylor was still in the league. Want to know why I didn't know that Tyrod Taylor was still in the league? Did you guys know that he was the quarterback that succeeded Michael Vick? I think it was at Virginia Tech. Like, I'm pretty sure he was the next quarterback or the one after. Like, he's old as shit. He is old as shit.
Wow.
And he's still in the NFL, but he got, Brian Daboll just throwing his goddamn headset at everyone, chewing his ass out in halftime because he wanted to change the play.
Microsoft Surface tablets.
Breaking all kinds of shit. I'm like, Daboll, man, like, you don't have a neck, so I know your cholesterol's high. You can't have these types of upsets, man. Okay? That Buffalo ambulance is going to start working some overtime pretty quick if Daboll keeps pulling this type of shit. They're going to have to get some new suspension on that thing and stuff like that. They're going to put him on the fucking card.
Keep the ambulance aside.
So no, like, the stats show that Tua and Josh Allen have been the same quarterback this year. They just got different talent around them.
But
And it's about coaching. McDaniels is a genius. Who's the Bills coach again? Yeah, he's the defensive guy. He don't know what the fuck he's doing with offense.
our coach came from like an internship, and he's high all the time off of I don't know what, and somehow
And he's really
Edibles.
cool. McDaniels is stopping
Awesome.
press conferences to admire people's shoes.
I saw
He's
that.
out there doing the fucking sea walk in some goddamn man capris. pre-gaming games. Like Mike Daniels is a different cat. He's crazy as shit. And he identifies as black, but there's nothing I see black about him. I got to see a family tree.
He's black.
Because he says he's black. I think he grew up around black people. I think that's what happened. But yeah, he's considered an African American coach in the NFL. They claim him is an African American coach in the NFL.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I just always say Mike Daniels is like the logic of the NFL. But anyway, this is not about Mike McDaniels. This is about the fact that I am selling my Buffalo Bills stock, not because of Josh Allen, though, because like Malin was saying, their offense is just so predicated on him that if they did have a running game, just a solid running game, I think they would look more, consistent or more competent than they do currently, because it is Josh Allen or bust. So yes, at times he makes some boneheaded mistakes, but that's just because he knows, he's all they got. There's no other plan B or anything else for them to fall back on. So he presses the ball a lot. But yeah, the rest of the team though, like they've just all year outside of the Miami win, they don't look very good. Like they're still winning games, of course, but their offense, you just don't know what you're going to get out of them. And clearly their defense has shown that they can be had at times too. And, they struggle to beat a New York Giants team that really should have won this game. If Tyrod Taylor doesn't make that boneheaded mistake at the, whatever that was, like 1-2 yard line right before halftime, they should have won this game. And this was
you said Daniel Jones, it was Tyrod Taylor.
I don't know. Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Tays.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor. That's what their defense was going up against, and they struggled to beat them. So, Bills, I would be very cautious as one of their fans right now. But June.
I'm in the middle. I don't move the needle either way with this team. I think they had a bad game. I think it was a combination of Brian Dable knowing this team, to the Bills not seeming to want to get up for this game, So they seem to do that a lot. They play down to the competition. So, I think the Bills will be fine. I think it's going to hurt them not having that running game. That is going to hurt them. As I've said that all season, that if any team needs to trade for a running back, it is the Buffalo Bills. Because now because in certain situations, you're going to have to rely on the ball being ran and not just Josh Allen back there slinging it 40 times a game. So...
so who need a running back more? Cowboys or Bills?
Yeah, the Bills need a running back more.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. I will say I never actually said I'm selling my Bill stock too. For the exact same thing that Jalen's talking about is because it's Josh Allen bust. And the only reason why I'm selling them is that I think they're going to be a playoff team, but I don't think they have a chance going to the Super Bowl. I don't think the team constructed around Josh Allen is going to make them a Super Bowl team. Don't laugh at me. Has got me out here defending all this bullshit.
Defending everybody.
Goddamn defense attorney out here, people.
Put up your rates, Malin. Speaking Malin.
Let's talk about Justin Fields for a second.
Please, for the love of God.
I can't defend his ass. Playing the Jesse Campbell mistakes.
He's on his own. Let's move on from the recap. Week 6, it's been real. Let's hop in. It's that time of year, folks. NBA
Here we go.
is making its return next week. Yes, I'm fully aware that the first month, pretty much everything before Christmas in the NBA is kind of a snooze fest. But, it's that time of year where we're going to make our predictions for how we think the regular season is going to end. So we always give our, who's going to come out of the West, the East, and then who is going to be the MVP. So with the season starting on Tuesday, which I think we've got the Lakers, the Warriors, and I forget what the second game is. But let's start with who is going to win the East. And let's go with Malin. Who do you think is going to win the Eastern Conference?
Well, you already know who's going to win the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, the better question might be who's coming in second place.
Ends with a C. You're talking about the Lucky Charms, Boston Celtics, people. You're winning the goddamn East. Okay? Listen, okay. We got Tatum. We got Gotham City. We got freaking Holiday. Okay? We got the White Hope and Porzingis over here, people. We got Horford. All right. You can't mess with us. We're winning 74 games this year. Book it, Dano. We're setting the goddamn record. Okay? We're going 74 wins. We're winning the East. Fuck everybody else in the East. What is Philly going to do? Embiid's going to have a hurt back. And he's going to have hurt back because he's going to be carrying around James Harden's fat ass for most of the year. Ain't nobody worried about prima donna, transgender, Jimmy Butler. And I'll only say transgender Jimmy Butler on this show. I'll never say the person because of whoop my ass. But you guys still got the truth and Tyler Hero, I heard. You guys going to get rid of him, but that still ain't going to amount to shit. But I think the Celtics are better than anything that Milwaukee has with Dame Lillard and Giannis, just because I think we got more depth. I think we got more scoring opportunities. And I think you're going to see a resurgence on our defense. I'm not worried about the Knicks with Brunson and Randall. I'm not worried about none of them. I'm not worried about Trae Young and his, Trey Lance hairstyle over there in Atlanta. Ain't nobody worried about none of these fucking people.
Come on.
It's the Celtics, baby. It's the Celtics.
No worries about Cleveland.
What?
Point to Cleveland on
No
that.
worries about Cleveland.
Ain't nobody worried about a single other fucking team you want to name. Whether it's Cleveland or the Bulls or any of it, they can lick the leprechaun's balls. All right, we're going. We're back to the finals.
I'm just going to go real quick because I'm going to second everything my compadre just said. Come on, man. If you would have told me before the year started we're going to lose Marcus Smart and Time Lord, but we're going to gain Porzingis and Drew, I'd take that right off the bat. So I'm happy with our offseason moves. I'm good to go. Some of the other teams in the East made some minor moves. Of course, Milwaukee getting Dame was the biggest one. Outside of that, though, nobody else really made any big splashes. Brad Stevens was in the lab, and he was just cooking up this whole offseason, just plotting out how he's going to improve this team. So big props to him. And there's really nobody in the rest of the East that is that much of a concern. Like, as Malin just detailed, there's nothing else to really, scare us that much. So with that being said,
time is
Celtics.
first time. All right, that man misses games at this point. Everybody want to remember him walking off the Thunder like 4 years ago. All right, not the same.
Yeah, let's.
I love a game.
Not the same.
I love it. I think our defense this year is going to be unreal. Drew Holiday is going to be a huge, huge asset. So,
74 wins.
Amen. June.
Well, I am going to go Milwaukee. I like the way that team is made up. I like the way the team is made up. I think that you're going to see they don't have the depth. You are 100% correct about that. But I think you're going to see a rejuvenated Dame Leonard, and he's going to be playing inspired. And I think Giannis is going to bring something to him. And I think that team is just that's the championship team they had a couple of years ago. I think this kind of reinvigorates Giannis to go out there and show why he's one of the best players in the NBA. Boston is going to be a tough out. I mean, that team is stacked. They're going to be a tough out. But I still think Milwaukee is going to challenge them.
All right.
I just asked one question. Can I ask one question?
Okay.
How inspired do you think Dame is going to be when he wanted now? Let's say it's middle of January.
Mm-hmm.
This man wanted to be in South Beach. And he's in Milwaukee. How they better have like a 5-game lead in the East if you want to talk about an inspired Dame. He's gonna be pissed off. You got Jimmy Butler dressing in drag because he's so confused about his life because he doesn't have Dame Lillard on his team now. So he wanted to be in South Beach and he ended up in Milwaukee.
Right.
How inspired is he really going to be? I'm asking.
He's going to be fine. I think it's going to be a good match. It's going to be a very good matchup between those two. And they are going to make a deep run into the East. You know, they really are going to make a deep. They just don't have the depth. I will give you that 100%. Milwaukee does not have the depth. And that's probably going to come back to bite them in game 6 or 7 against Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's probably where that depth is going to come into play. So
you just picked Milwaukee.
I'm still picking Milwaukee.
He's still riding.
I'm still 6 and 7. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying, but I'm saying that's when it could rear its ugly head. But you know,
fair enough.
For the sake of us not having a 1 a.m. show,
right?
I digress. I'm gonna hear whatever Nestor
yeah,
and whatever
he
says first is not going to be his real answer. You already know this.
I probably changing my answer now, but no, I feel Dame is going to be playing a lot of Fortnite with Tyreek Hill, just to live through him. But I have to give it to Boston because Porzingis already looks like he's cooking. Man already looks good on that team. Drew Holiday, of course. I feel like those two guys, Jason Tatum and what's his name, Brown, they're gonna play good. Well, he was off last year. No, they're gonna play. All right.
Gotham City.
Well, that was a good phase of him. His prime. He puts the mask on. You know he's gonna ball.
Man averaged 27 points a game.
I feel like those guys are gonna play better with Porzingis around. I feel like the ball will get moved around a lot better. They'll have some pressure off of them to perform. So we don't know what Dame is gonna do for Milwaukee yet. And even if he does play good, you know, for that whole stretch of the season, can we trust that? Can we trust nobody getting hurt? Yeah, there's a lot of question marks, even though they have Dame on their team. So Giannis is gonna have to play really fucking well if he wants to win the East. He's gonna have to not just show up, but he's gonna have to be like the guy we saw that won the chip a few years back. And Dame is gonna have to be on top of his game. But other than that, I see Boston taking this easily for the East.
All right. So I just want to let everybody know before we go to break that a new sponsor of the show is Malin and Dennis Law Incorporated. I will defend all and anybody's dumbass sports takes.
Josh Allen is a bad quarterback. Anyway, the West Conference.
Let's go to the
Tua walks around with a helmet when he's not
the ball against the Vikings. Who does that? Who snaps the ball in the fourth quarter against the fucking Vikings? Goddamn, Haley Steinfeld, hot girl, dating hot girl.
Card walking around with a Shopsell helmet on. You ever seen the movie Radio? Yeah, you ever seen the movie Radio? That was to his dad. All right, shut up.
Let's continue. Out of the West, Malin, who is winning the West?
Shit, I forgot we had a whole other. Goddamn.
Dallas.
I'm actually gonna go. Okay, go ahead, Nestor. Go ahead and go.
No, I didn't
next.
say anything.
You said Dallas. That's what you.
I didn't say
said.
Dallas.
So go ahead. What you did.
Who said that?
Go ahead. Tell us how Dallas is gonna win it.
No, I think the Suns are gonna win it.
What the fuck?
Jesus,
I think the
God.
Suns are unbelievably gonna be healthy, and Denver will not repeat. So I feel like it's gonna be the Suns. They're the other most talented team in the West, and yeah, I got the Suns. Kyrie Irving will not get injured, and he'll ball out, and then
He doesn't even play for the.
not Kyrie
Suns.
Irving. Oh my
Kevin
God, it's
Durant.
flat Earth over here.
KD.
Yeah, Kevin Durant.
One hourly rate. Or
And the kid that's always crying, what's his name?
Devin Booker. You're really
Kendall
making
Jenner's ex.
you're making a hot case for the Suns here.
Kendall Jenner's ex.
I don't even know who's
Whoever
on the
that is.
Suns.
Devin Booker.
Yeah.
He's making a case for the Dallas Mavericks. He doesn't even fucking know it. Okay.
Lord help my friend.
Hey, I am going to go Phoenix out of the West.
Oh, but
No. Oh, yeah, you thought Kyrie Irving fucking played for him. Shut up. I think that even if they sustain some injuries
Jesus
throughout
Christ.
the regular season, if you get into the playoffs with a healthy Booker, Durant, and Beal, okay, that's who you were missing, Nestor. Bradley Beal. Okay?
Fuck Bradley Beal.
Sure, whatever. But if you get into the playoffs with those three scorers, put them up against any other healthy roster in the NBA. Okay, especially out of the West. That's a trio that's going to hurt you. I'm not. Last year, Denver made it to the finals, yes, but everybody had injuries last year in the West. Like nobody was 100% in the West in the playoffs except for Denver, and Denver had failed. How many times with Joker? How many times did they fail with Joker? Up until they actually made the finals and won it. So it's not like they're guaranteed to go back to the finals and run it back and win it again because they've had that roster for a few years and they finally broke through like one time. But people were always hurt. You never saw a healthy Suns team last year, and now you're adding Bradley Beal to it. I think Bradley Beal is going to be more rejuvenated leaving DC than Dame Lillard is going to be rejuvenated going from Portland to Milwaukee. And so, yes, health is, somewhat of a concern, but I believe that even if you deal with health issues, that team's going to the playoffs. And as long as they're healthy in the playoffs, I'm going to take them to go out of the West. I know that Jalen does not agree with me. He was just puckering his lips. He needed to fart.
June, who's coming out of the West? Please say something.
The Lakers. The Lakers are coming.
Lord have mercy.
Damn it, I thought that with Shaq not on the goddamn show.
The Lakers.
Talk about the fucking Lakers.
The Lakers are coming out of the West.
Sure.
I mean, they made an improbable run to the Western Conference Finals last year when a lot of people didn't even think they were going to make the playoffs.
The key word is improbable. Meaning no one thought
Anthony
it was gonna
Davis is Anthony Davis is healthy. Okay, he's going to come into this season healthy. Okay, now they're going to have a full year with Cam Reddish and with Rudy Hachimura, some guys that add some depth to this team. And D'Angelo Russell has been balling.
Oh, Lord
He started
Jesus.
balling. Okay, so Phoenix is not going. They don't have the depth. They just don't have it. Kevin Durant right now is a walking infirmary. One wind blow on him and he's done.
Yeah, he ain't got no calves.
He
He ain't got no
sneezes
calves.
and his knee is blown out for the season.
He's
Okay?
never had a blown out knee.
I'm just saying. I'm just making a point here. Or what do you have? An ankle or whatever.
It's always below the calf. You seen that man's calf muscle?
Ankles, knees, Kyrie Irving. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
This man running around on Q-tips.
But the Lakers have a lot of depth, and they still have LeBron James. Okay, they still have LeBron James.
Dax,
Now,
#1 draft pick.
I think that the West is top heavy. I think the West is top heavy, but I think the Lakers are going to be the team that comes out on top this year.
I really think that we weren't going to have to talk about the Lakers.
Oh, you're going to talk about them?
I really would. That is apparent that you are the new Shaq. You might not have the forehead. You might not have been the one that caused the solar eclipse to happen last week. But you guys are apparently mind melding and picking the Lakers.
Man.
Like,
You know,
how many times are we going to say that Anthony Davis
I don't
is
wanna
him?
hear his name.
How many
anymore.
how many years does LeBron James have to pass the torch, the proverbial fucking torch, before LeBron James in the year 22 has to carry this fucking team back into the goddamn wild card? Like, what?
Oh boy.
He's waiting for his son.
I was not
Yeah.
looking for that, man. You had so many teams you could have picked in just Texas alone.
The Lakers are not coming out of the West. I'm sorry, June, but LeBron is not going to be any younger next year. Anthony Davis is healthy right now because he's yet to play any basketball. But once he does play some basketball, he will hurt something, and that is how that goes. Yes, having Hachimura is nice, for a full year now. But D'Lo, he was god awful in the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
he was just a walking liability, and if they could have fired him to the sun right then and there, they would have. And I thought they were just going to get rid of him after the season. The fact that he's back, I don't know. Maybe they just couldn't find a better option, but I'm pretty sure that a can of
What
paint
is it
would
about
be a
him
better
playing
option.
in LA that makes him so goddamn bad? Because he was actually pretty good.
I know in Minnesota
When
he was solid. So there's the Lakers. I don't see it. The Suns, I also don't see it. Bradley Beal, he's also not getting any younger. Kevin Durant, come on, man. I mean, this dude is injured every other week. Every other week, it's something else. I'm going with the Denver Nuggets. Absolutely. It really just comes down to health. And of course, they're not, perfectly healthy. Nobody is. But in comparison, when you look at their competition, you have some really injury-prone, top-heavy teams. Dallas isn't necessarily injury-prone, but I just don't know if that team works to begin with. They're going to be very interesting.
They have mental injury prone.
Right, it's mental health problems instead of physical health.
This man think
yeah,
he think the
flat
damn
earth.
earth flat.
Living
the
right
damn
there,
earth flat.
living in the same state that made NASA this motherfucker believe that the goddamn earth is flat. God damn it.
Yeah. And besides them, Memphis, I don't have much faith in Memphis in the long run, but yeah, I think it's my same prediction of last year. I said Denver was going to come out the West and Celtics were going to come out the East, and I was damn near Jason Tatum ankle roll in the Game 7 from being right on that one. But this year, we'll be there. So that's my pick.
Ain't nobody think Golden State has a chance, huh? It's crazy how age can catch up on you so goddamn fast.
Right.
They just won the title 2 years ago.
I mean, I think
Nobody
they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be in the playoffs, but I don't think
be
they're
in the
gonna.
playoffs. And I think it was foolish of them to give
Let's get Draymond.
goddamn Green money the money they gave him. I was
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ. Nobody think that Dallas, Luke and Kyrie, no?
If I could pick a second team, I honestly think Dallas. They did a great job of getting some good depth on that team. It's just a matter of will Kyrie and Luka work, because everything else is kind of set.
My
Yeah,
only
because I'm looking
problem-
at that. They don't have a bad roster.
my only issue with Kyrie and Luca though is that like Luca doesn't he never makes a really good second option on his team.
Right. Right.
Look what Brunson did
Mm-hmm.
when he left you know, Dallas and went to New York, and Porzingis before he went to Dallas, he was a baller. And now you got Kyrie, and they really struggled. And I'm not really 100% sure that Kyrie is gonna really be comfortable with Luka being the first option in the fourth quarter.
Right.
I think it's going to be different for them. So, all right, well, Denver.
That's where I'm going. And MVP wise, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm looking at G Money's comments in the chat here. He says the over under for AD is 45 games before he gets hurt and misses double digit games. The Mavericks will be the 2022 Nets, dysfunctional and looking to trade one of their stars after the All-Star game. My dark horse for the West is OKC, and for the East is Cleveland.
Yeah,
I agree with the OKC.
Those are really dark, though.
Very dark.
Those are really dark. Cleveland and OKC.
Not really.
I mean, first of all,
First of all, nobody will watch that. Nobody will watch that.
If OKC and Cleveland end up in the finals, everyone's gonna be like, "What's baseball doing?" They'll be like, "Is WNBA started yet?" Ain't nobody. And I would like to add that the Aces won the WNBA finals tonight, beating the New York Liberty. That did happen. So, bravo to them.
There you go.
Most of the
Facebook
people in
comments are brutal.
I would just like to point out that most of the people in WNBA make less money than I do.
Good God.
In my profession.
Little do you know, Malin is a multi-millionaire.
Wait, hold on. Can I just say this about the WNBA? I know it's going to be a 1 a.m. show. Whatever. I had a shot at tequila. So they were talking about WNBA players. Plum on a podcast saying that they wanted to get paid the same type of revenue share that the NBA gets paid with theirs. Okay. So they make on average $60 million a year in the WNBA. And let's not forget about the fact that it's subsidized by the NBA. Okay, so they actually lose money. The league wouldn't be there without the NBA. The NBA made $10 billion last year. So when you take the average $9.7 million salary with the NBA versus the $113,000 salary of the average WNBA player, and you put it up against $60 million and $10 billion, the WNBA is actually making twice as much per revenue than the NBA is. So if the women, because they're supposed to be smart, if they want to cut their salary in half, they can have the same type of revenue share as NBA players that they're fighting for. But I guess math isn't not a needed thing to do.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna stop right there. But yeah. So the math is not mathing, people.
The math is not mathing.
I just want to say I read 4 of these comments on ESPN. They posted the picture of the whole like team, and somebody said lower left looks like Kyle Kuzma. Some other person said I didn't know Kyle Kuzma was still playing. Somebody said top left corner looks like Dwight Howard. And then somebody else commented like, "I didn't know." Well, it's easy when Dwight Howard's on your team.
I would just
Somebody
like
said,
to
"I don't give a
say
fuck." The Astros
that
are up in the 7th inning.
they are.
Oh, it was a one.
The
That was a
little, the
1 point
little
win.
league, the Little League World Series gets more views
Well,
than the WNBA.
That's pretty good. I like watching. That's pretty good.
those kids can play.
Little League World Series gets more views than the WNBA.
When I lived in Vegas, and the Aces first got there, they was, they had Bill Lambier as the coach. And
I was about to say he wasn't playing.
He
Was not playing.
They were terrible, but there was, they had a lot of fans then, and a lot of people because Vegas, we didn't have pro teams. We just got the Knights.
Really, they didn't even have anybody.
People are such dicks. Life changing in sports.
Yeah,
Great
but
time for Kevin Durant to put in his application.
Oh God. But I liked the WNBA. I used to love going to those games. It was actually really good. But I think, and we can move on after this, but I really believe that next year when Caitlin Clark and what's the girl from LSU?
I'm not gonna remember her
What are you
name,
talking
but
about?
I think we all know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I damn near
I
said
believe
almost said it.
I believe when those two get in, I think the WNBA may have a rival. They may have something that people tune into with
No, they
those two
don't.
coming in.
They really don't.
Angel
Oh, my
Reese.
goodness.
No
Angel
one,
Reese.
Angel Reese, there you go.
no one even tuned like the women's basketball tournament. The only reason why they got shine is because the men's tournament was just god fucking awful. And you had a white girl from Iowa going up against a bunch of black people in LSU. Like, what did people think was going to happen? I swear to God, 3/4 of the SEC was probably rooting for Iowa because they're a bunch of fucking bigots. No man, it's not gonna happen. They're never gonna not be subsidized by the NBA. But if you want my NBA MVP pick, I'm going fucking Tatum. Tatum is gonna win it
There
this
he
year.
is.
Get it? Because the Celtics are gonna win 74 games, and he's gonna be the main catalyst. Put everybody together. He's gonna put him on his back. And my profile picture on Discord might have a back Tatum jersey that says not him, but he's gonna be him this year. He's gonna change his fucking mind. He's gonna be him. Him and Gotham City are gonna figure it the fuck out. They're gonna do some shit.
I'm going to second that. Malin's going to have to change that photo. Just cross out the not. Just change it to an I'm. Because he's going to be him this year. And Jason Tatum's going to be our 23-24 MVP in the NBA. So book it. June, tell us why Tatum's going to be MVP this year.
Why he's going to be the runner-up to Giannis? Yeah.
Well, okay. First of all, it's Giannis.
Yeah.
Okay. I can have my color skin correcting you on how to pronounce his name.
He's Greek. I don't speak Greek. I mean,
You're gonna get me canceled. That's not fair.
Combo, I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
Giannis is going to be the MVP this year. He's going to be the MVP. He's going to get back to form from that championship season, and he's gonna lead this team, and Dame is going to back him up. Giannis is going to. They got too many stars on that team for Tatum to be the MVP. They got too many balls to pass the ball around. They got to pass the ball around too much.
To Tatum.
See, you got. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna hurt y'all feelings.
You probably will.
Tatum
Oh shit.
he's a very good player. Is he a game-changing player?
Oh, it hurts.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know if he's a game-changing player. I don't know if Tatum is game-changing. He's a great player, but is he game-changing? Giannis is game-changing. Dirk Nowitzki was game-changing.
Oh,
LeBron is
Right.
game changing. I don't know if Tatum is game changing. I don't know that. I can't say that. I can't say that about him because he's always had so many people around him, and now he's gonna have more people around him.
Changing because he was white. Let's stop it. Tatum's better than
He was
Dirk.
still pretty nasty.
What? What'd you
Doing.
say? Okay.
Tatum
That
will have
one-legged
17
shot,
I was
unstoppable.
Dirk.
I was a season ticket holder. I watched Dirk from when he came into the league till he left. I would fly back to Dallas to watch games. Even though I was a Lakers fan, I had lived in Dallas so long. I love watching Dirk Nowitzki play.
Okay.
Tatum is not better than Dirk Nowitzki. You lost your
Now I
mind.
know why. Now I know why you said the Lakers are going to win the West. You just said you're a Lakers fan. Second, in America, we don't root for Germans. Okay, that's not what you do. You're a Navy man, for God's sakes.
Oh my
Y'all
goodness.
fucking
Here we go.
Bismarck. We're not out here.
Oh my God.
All right, Nestor.
No, Dirk was great. He beat LeBron.
He sure
He's
did.
great. Tatum's better though.
Let's not talk about that time that he did that. I think it's gonna be Gianniel Antetokounmpo. I think he's gonna be the guy who's gonna win it. But seriously, I think they're not gonna. I think that they're not gonna get to the finals. Okay, but I think this man has a what do you call it? He's hurt after what happened last season. I think he made some Twitter comments or something about it, and I'm pretty sure he felt like, this is not at my level at all what I did last season. Towards the end of the season, so I think he's gonna come out playing a lot better this season. Look, let me tell you something. Tatum, I like the dude. Great basketball player. He's a great basketball player because I like to see guys that don't make this league look like a goddamn circus when they're not pulling guns out on IG Live. Like guys like that can play good week after week.
Your standard?
But yeah, I mean, for
person
this league,
putting guns
it is. Great basketball player, but I don't think he's the guy that gets you across the finish line to that chip. I don't think he's the guy that picks up the whole team, puts it on his shoulders, and gets you that championship. So
You just picked Boston to come out of the East.
yes, because the depth that they
You're saying
have
it's a
and how
team
many
effort.
they're gonna play great as a team. But I don't see Jason Tatum being the doing
Okay. Well,
50% of the work on that team.
you better be
happened.
prepared to get some mail in Sarasota from the Mainland and Dennis law firm about defamation of character because Tatum is going to prove you.
I wouldn't be mad if he does. He's a great basketball player. He's a great dude.
Yes,
So
he would. You'd
No,
be so
not
goddamn
at all.
mad if the Celtics won the championship.
I'd be mad if Devin
Yeah,
Booker
the
wins.
Celtics win. I'm pissed. Not
There we
gonna
go.
lie.
All right.
Oh,
Jesus. that was the first half.
That's the
we hit a lot of
man.
bases in that
the
one.
bar at Sam. The man to defense. I've had to write up. Not even qualified. I only got the papers. I'm gonna have to take the bar exam.
Folks at home, if you want to see more of June, you can follow him on TikTok. His link is down in the description below. So be sure to give our man a follow. Makes fantastic NFL content throughout the week, especially if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. That's just a cherry on
Love
top.
it.
So
He's
June
man, and he's a safety man. He's a veteran.
and a vet. So
Respect.
even more of a reason to go follow.
Look past the Lakers fandom
Right.
and love it.
Thanks again for being on, June. We're going to go to a
Hey,
break,
peace.
and we will see you all in about 10 minutes.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey. On my way to the boat, like I ain't just had on a coat when I landed. Out branded, perched at the edge of the branches. They don't wanna talk mansions, mine look like a campus. And I'm all about my brothers like the niggas I'm sampling. I'll leave you red shirted like the twins from Kansas. Really living my dreams I used to have in my aunt's crib.
This is the first time the Heat have made the finals since LeBron left.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
What the fuck?
Nobody wants to guess.
Is it Kyle Lowry?
If Kyle Lowry's number
Do I get the point?
Yeah, I'll give you the point.
I guess two of them. Do I not get points for that shit too? Can I just make a complaint?
How many times have these two teams played each other in the regular season?
Once.
Is incorrect.
No.
Twice.
Twice.
You already guessed. Oh.
Shaq, what was your guess? 3. That is incorrect.
Twice.
2.
G Money, any guesses?
I already said it.
We don't know if that's correct.
Well, I mean,
it is correct.
G Money, try 5.
Why this man have the most amount of points to complain about?
How is it taking that fucking long?
You missed their first question because you answered too fast. Not thinking.
He's stupid.
That's pretty
First of all, this is the last time we're ever doing trivia. I don't give a damn what happens.
Hey. Yeah. Trendsetter, band frame getter, with whatever. I buy diamonds when I'm under pressure. When I apply, shit don't ever let up. Yeah. Look, I'm in the cut, the boy in the cut. Jump in the whip with a ceiling go up, we up. All of this grinding for what? It's funny when you niggas thought it was luck.
So who is that? All right, so he lands Spider Mitchell. You gotta put on the top. Oh, dang. That's somebody good. Ooh, Steph Curry. Okay. Ooh, that feels bad. There's Darren Fox. Thank you.
Damn. Is that gonna fall the moment he gets it out?
Oh my god. How am I supposed to even turn this now?
By the way, the person who knocks it over, your lineup doesn't even count.
He took Zion. Listen, that's the best I can do, people.
Can't be alright. Jared Allen, you're coming home with me, friend.
Stack it.
Mr. IG Live himself.
Oh, the shooter.
Oh, Jesus.
That was harder than the Bulls fought to get Zach LaVine.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
If Miami can maintain their momentum and find a way to beat the Bucks in this series, you will be seeing us in the final. There's no question, ifs, ands, or buts about it, so be prepared to see us.
And the Miami Heat become the 6th in NBA history to win as an 8th seed in the first round.
Game wants his ring, and he's gonna get it. And he's like, "Fuck him." He's got to play lights out. He's gonna come out there and play lights out. Butler's gonna put the whole load on his shoulders. And I say he wins game 1. Great momentum. That's how you start a series.
All 3 of the previous series, they were the underdog. All 3 of those series, they won game 1. Denver's 9-0 at home in the playoffs. They take game 1. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets win their 4th straight road game in these playoffs and regain home court advantage. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Denver Nuggets are 1 win away from their first ever NBA title. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Murray falling away. Rebound, Brown banks it home. Bruce Brown puts the Nuggets back up by 1. Jimmy Butler on the drive, gets inside, stops. Stolen by Caldwell Pope. And a foul. 2 clutch free throws from Contavious Caldwell Pope. It's over. At last, the long wait is is over. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
Still waiting, wanting got to keep me on chill. Don't you miss me, I'll kick you with my new bitch, I still. Yep, in my white tee. Yeah, call up Mike Williams for the hype, please. Nigga, I'm white you before you white me. My boxes of checks, not my Nikes. Cactus, not no iced tea. Got him bamboozled like a Spike Lee. You need more than Google just to find me. I just call a beta, get a hyphy.
Incredible, general.
I just got the label just to sign me. Me and Chase connected like we signed.
What was your biggest surprise from this first week in the NFL? Now, Aaron Rodgers' injury aside, was it the Detroit Lions taking down the defending champs in the first game of the year? Was it how good that the Green Bay Packers looked against their first showing against the Chicago Bears? Could it have been how good the Dallas Cowboys looked beating the shit out of the New York Giants? Mine, again, Aaron Rodgers' injury aside, it's gotta be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Minnesota Vikings. I did not think the Bucs were going to be any good for any of this season, but especially the first half of the season. I thought they had a lot of kinks to work out, but they worked them out in that game and got through it and ended up with a dub at the end of the day. So I was highly surprised about that. But what is your biggest surprise from this first week in the NFL? All right, 5 games into the season, is Brock Purdy really that good? What I mean by that is he has not lost a regular season game. He looks fantastic on paper. He's, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But is that just because he's in Shanahan's system and he's a product of said system? Or is he actually just one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's what we're witnessing right now, and we're kind of underrating him because he's in Shanahan's system? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Let's get a discussion going. We're talking about this on tomorrow night's show. So, hey, is Brock Purdy that man, or is he just another Jimmy G in Shanahan's system? I think that Ron Rivera is on the hot seat this year as a head coach. This is his 4th year as the coach of the Commanders. His overall record is 22-27. Not very good. He's going to have a brand new quarterback in Sam Howell. We'll see how that goes. He's got a proven offensive coordinator in Eric Bieniemy. And the most important part, a brand new owner in Harris. The offense is looking pretty good, but the Commanders are still losing games. I think Harris might be looking to say, all right, Rivera, you're up out of here. We're going to promote Bieniemy up to head coach position, because if they have another just kind of losing season, Harris doesn't really care. He didn't pick Ron Rivera to come in as the head coach. That's not his guy. New management, they're going to make their own decisions. All right, Patriots fans, come next year, do you think that Bill Belichick and Mac Jones are still going to be with the Patriots? As a Patriots fan, I think there's no way in hell that we see both of them back next year. And if I had to guess, Mac Jones is probably out the door. Bill, we'll see what happens there, but I can't see Mac Jones returning next year. Obviously, there's still a lot of football to play, so we'll see, but I can't see much of a change, a drastic enough change for him to keep the starting job come next year. I think we're drafting a quarterback. But what do you guys think? Are Mac and Bill going to be back in 2024? It's a shame to have this conversation in October, but we're awful.
Remember to follow the show on TikTok and Instagram at @FA Sports. Now back to your favorite show on the internet with your hosts, Jaylon, Malon, Nestor, and G Money.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. Second half, we've got G Money here. G Money, what's up?
Gentlemen, appreciate you guys and appreciate being on your show. I don't know why we don't have more people watching. This is probably the show to watch on a Wednesday night on YouTube.
It absolutely is.
No. We probably have more people watching the show than the WNBA finals. So, yeah. And, you know, listen, G Money, this is just as much your show as it is our show at this point. This is our show. You don't got to say it's your show too, man.
G Money, long time part of this show, so we appreciate you every week carving out time in your evening to come on here and bullshit with us. With that being said, let's raise him on high, gentlemen.
Do it. What is G Money taking a shot of?
Johnny Walker Gold Label Reserve.
Oh, there you go.
Very nice. Let's get into some community comments here.
Yeah, let's do it.
While I'm pulling these up, what kind of tequila do you have there, Malin?
Well, the first shot that I did was the Terramana, which is the rocks tequila on the amber. But I decided, you know what? My dogs beat the Ducks. Number 5 in the country, Big Penix Energy. So I pulled out the 1942.
Oh,
there you go.
Still got some of that bottle left. That was a great show that we had.
I like that. Dogs hunted down those ducks.
That was really smooth. I don't know if I'm going to wake up for work tomorrow, but it was good. I don't know if you realize this, but you just had the actress from the movie The Ring just went right behind you.
Well, it is October.
I'm a little scared. You're about to. Yep, there it is.
Community comments. Let's start off with the poll from Monday Night Football. Cowboys or Chargers? 54% of people said Cowboys. Some people here I know for a fact voted after the fact. Somebody today voted for the Chargers. He was a Chargers fan, but interesting enough.
There was a comment.
There was a comment on this video, and that was, of course, from Malin Dennis, who says, I think Aubrey will kick a 39-yarder to win it for the Cowboys. 20-17. Bet.
That might have been 5 hours ago or 25 hours ago. I don't. Might be Nostradamus over here.
Moving into the next video here, what did you learn from the 49ers loss to the Browns? So taking the same question that we answered in the first half of the show and just giving this to the people here on Instagram or on TikTok. And Malin posed this question, and he just, echoed what he said earlier. And Scrambled One started off by saying, you don't know ball. Then Nestor asked exactly which part is he wrong on. And then Malin said, says the guy a part of the fan base that is claiming Purdy will be the next Montana. Then Scrambled One comes back and says, I am talking specifically about this guy. I never said Purdy would be the next Montana. Purdy is good. He may be great someday, but from a sheer technical standpoint, he's very good. Throws from a wide base, accurate as fuck, quick release. I think he'd have struggled against this D regardless of injury. But if you can't genuinely see that he's very skilled, you don't know ball. And then Malin answered back, very skilled. You're right. 48% passing and barely 100 yards passing is pure skill, dumbass. The moment he didn't have CMC, he turned into a pumpkin. And that was the end of that
Yeah.
thread.
Cinderella might be able to throw a better football than him. Scrambled egg, dumbass.
I mean, there's a reason he was the last pick in the draft. And he is a system quarterback. And he fits their system. But when you take the weapons away, yeah, the man cannot throw deep. And so he's throwing, like Jimmy G, the 20-yard outs, the 20-yard comebacks, those type of routes, the 5-8-yard slants.
Hell,
But you're not seeing him chuck the ball 50, 60 yards down the field because he can't do it.
Away. You take his security blanket away. The man couldn't even complete a 5-yard pass.
Yeah.
He was thrown all over the goddamn place in that game. So maybe Christian McCaffrey comes back this next game and he starts looking like the Brock Purdy that we've seen since he came into the league. But that's because he has one of the best running backs behind him and one of the best play callers in the NFL calling these plays. The fact that Christian McCaffrey was healthy for as long as he's been is a miracle.
Right.
The man gets soft tissue damage all the time in Carolina. So, I mean, yeah, Purdy, whatever. I mean, any quarterback with Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, CMC, Trent Williams is his left tackle, and Kyle Shanahan calling plays, you're going to ball.
Right, for sure.
Maybe if you're Colin Kaepernick, maybe not. But most people would.
On that same video, Naughty said, without them, he's dog water. And if we move to Instagram, Irish Goon 69 commented, LOL, right, thumbs down. And that was the extent of his comment.
Irish Goon has been drinking too much Guinness to be able to correctly evaluate NFL quarterbacking. We've said it on the show multiple times. The man is a product of the talent around him. You take the talent away, and we saw what happens. Right. He had that talent against Dallas with the third-ranked defense. Balled out. Take the talent away against the number one defense, throwing to the dirt more than he is hands. I'm just saying.
Yes.
And he's an Iowa State quarterback, for God's sakes. At least Tom Brady went to fucking Michigan. Okay? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
So I just basically reposted the video of that Chargers fan on Monday night. The lady that was in the stands that was just absolutely going crazy when they tied up the game. And June had said that she was an industry plant. Do you guys? She was interviewed after, and she.
That's what I said on the TikTok.
She's not an industry plant. She had a family member that plays for the Vikings, and so that's why you have the picture of her.
Right.
In the Vikings gear.
Right.
It's a family member that plays for the Vikings.
Convenience.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Nestor, you live in Sarasota and Witness Protection Program.
She had one of the best acting performances I've ever seen. Industry
even
plant
better
confirmed.
than Taylor Swift.
Yep.
I mean, Taylor Swift is trying to act like she gives a shit about football when she's in the suite.
She looked like an extra on a show like Riverdale.
Come on.
You guys ever seen Riverdale? You know what I'm talking about.
That
we haven't because we're men. What the fuck are you talking
on
about?
TikTok. I see on TikTok.
Riverdale. If you watched Riverdale,
Oh my God. No.
Are you a fan of Archie?
They make fun of Riverdale all the time on TikTok, and one of the things they make fun of is the extras. How they're so like mechanical. This woman's an industry plant, okay?
No, she's
not.
not.
Script, I don't believe in the script, but this.
That was pure joy and then disappointment. But that clearly, like, that was a fan. Anyway,
She just has a family member that's a Vikings fan.
right.
She just cares, man. She's better than me. When I'm in the stadium, I'm trying to fight people.
Right.
Most of the time. Well, not
I don't know,
when
man. You haven't done that with me yet.
Well, not you because you're a Marine. You'll fucking kill me. And we all root for the same side, Gary.
Well, I mean, you haven't tried to get into a fight with people when I've been in the stadium with you. I don't recall the Tampa one. Now the Tampa one we were leaving. But
no, do you remember the guy in the stands though? We were there.
Well, wasn't it that?
And he was. So let me go ahead and tell the story of the Tampa game. Okay. There was a guy that clearly probably went to the University of Tampa because he looked bougie as shit. And he had a nice little girlfriend with him. And for some reason, maybe it's just like Miller's, I don't know. But every time that Tampa scored, he would look at me and start screaming. And then when Seattle scored, I looked at him and started yelling, and he started to yell back at me.
How close were you
And I
guys?
might have said, you don't want to do that because if you do it again, I will fucking end you in front of your little girlfriend. And then he shut up, and at halftime, him and his girlfriend left their seats and then never came back. So
Was he like the
and
row
I had
in
my
front of you?
brother, who's been to Iraq a few times, sitting right behind him, that was about to fucking end his life if he tried to make a move at me. But I will say, Gary, and you can attest to this, I was very cordial in Seattle. We had some Atlanta fans near us. I was cordial. I didn't say anything bad in that game. I was good.
And in fairness, they didn't say anything because they were surrounded by Seattle fans. In Jacksonville, it was all cool in Jacksonville. I mean, we got along quite well with their fans, even though our team fucking shit itself.
Well, we lost 31-27, I think. But I do remember walking out of the stadium. I did tell somebody that I'll break your fucking neck if you yell at my mom again. Because when we were trying to leave the stadium, people were yelling Duval like we all didn't know what fucking county we were in. We all understood where we were in the United States, but they wanted to start screaming Duval, and they yelled at my mom a couple times, and I told him I'd snap his fucking neck. That might have been the only confrontation I had during that game. Oh, Jalen, you and I are going to have fun in the Magic Boston game.
All right.
You might want to bring a first aid kit for anybody that tries to fuck with me.
Let's move into the good old ride or die in 5.
Jalen's like, I don't even have anything to say.
I got nothing.
It would Miller's to me too many times. It's not my fault, Jalen. I don't do it. The trouble comes looking for me.
That's what it is.
That's being disrespectful.
On last week, we all went 3-2. For those that are new, this is our betting segment of the week. So, we pick 5 games that are coming up this weekend, and we all make a pick for where you should put your money at. Last week, we all went 3-2. So props, gentlemen, because we've had some down weeks as of late, and we were all on the winning side this week. So can't beat that.
Yes, it's comeback.
Yes. So let's start off. Malin, he's 196 and 133. He's plus 63. I am 206 and 166. I am plus 40. Nestor, 90 and 72. He is plus 18. And then G Money, he's 111 and 98. He is plus 13. So first game of the week, we have the Jags going to the Saints. Jags finally coming back to the States after their little a stint overseas.
Shad Khan, man. Damn.
And they can't even go back to Jacksonville. They're going to New Orleans as they come back here. So, where the Saints are, I think they're 1.5 favorites. Point and a half favorites are the Saints. G Money, let's start with you. Who do you like in this one? This is tomorrow night.
So, initially I was going with the Jags, but they still can't make a decision whether Trevor Lawrence is going to start or not. And I'm like, he either is okay to start or he's not. One or the other. Either just let the betting public know, because God damn it, we have money riding on the game, and we don't need your bullshit. Maybe he's going to start. Maybe we'll wait to game time. Maybe someone will come and put a fucking horse's head in your bed there. But, as much as it pains me, I'm going to take the Jags. I just think if Trevor Lawrence starts, they're a better team. I just don't. I don't know. You look at the Saints. They once had a really good defense. It's not so good anymore. You'd have thought Derek Carr going down to New Orleans with Olave and, well, basically Olave. And now they've got their running back. I was thinking about Michael Thomas, but then I think, wait a minute, he hasn't played. So why am I even going to say him?
I'm not playing.
So really, that's the wide receiver they've got.
Is he not playing?
So even if
barely. He's on the field. Not doing much.
I mean, no, he's not. I mean, I think my only two concerns with Jacksonville would be the fact that they're coming back from spending 2 weeks, or actually, I think closer to 2.5 weeks
almost 3.
in Europe. So you've got the time change that you've got to deal with, and then you're not even coming back home. You're coming back and you're going to New Orleans to play. That would be my concern there. But I'm still going Jacksonville. I'll take Jacksonville, and
I'll go real
I can't
quick.
see.
I'm going to agree. I'm also going to take Jacksonville. Jacksonville's just finding ways to win games against bad teams, good teams, and the Saints. I just don't trust them at all. They're not very good this year. Derek Carr is just meh. I think Jacksonville will find a way to get this done. If you're going to give me a 1.5, that's just like a bonus. So, yeah, I will take Jacksonville and the points. So, Nestor.
The thing is, it really worries me that whether Trevor Lawrence is going to play or not. I think the way their schedule is laid out, the wise thing would be for him not to play and don't risk anything. You're in a division that's pretty winnable. Don't get your. They have a guy who's hurt on their team. They have Zay Jones hurt right now, and in part because of that reason, they don't rest him enough time. Every time he goes out and plays, he gets hurt again. So unless they want to do this with their star quarterback, they should sit him. I'm gonna go with New Orleans just because Jacksonville didn't do so hot the first few weeks until Trevor Lawrence just started playing like Trevor Lawrence. So I think I'm going to go with the fact that he's going to rest this weekend, and even if he does, he's not going to be 100%. It'd be really stupid to make him play. New Orleans is going to be home. It's pretty funny because I said this team is the worst 3-0 team or 2, something like
I think
that.
you said they're the worst 2-0 team. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very fraudulent. But as any fraudulent team, they'll pick up wins that where you're like, how did that happen? And this is one of those games. So give me New Orleans.
All right, Malin.
Okay. So I feel that Trevor Lawrence is going to play in this game. He wouldn't be practicing if he wasn't going to play. Okay. And this is the Jaguars. They don't really know how to run an organization. And when you've been in Europe for 2 weeks, all you really know how to do is lose things until America comes in and wins world wars. So what really concerns me about the Jaguars is that Trevor Lawrence is their second leading rusher with 147 yards, 4.5 yards per carry.
Oh,
if you take that aspect away, if he's wearing that brace and he's not running, and you take away the run because he's sneaky fast. Okay,
He can move.
he might be a white boy, but he can run. Okay, if we got into the 2000s, you had Fran Tarkenton and Steve Young. People, let's not forget about NFL history. We had some white boys that could move. Okay, that was before Michael Vick. You guys don't know nothing about that. Yeah, I mean, hell, even Peyton Manning could run in college until he got his knee hurt. So it concerns me with his lack of mobility in the game. And I'm also concerned over the fact that they haven't really been able to utilize Calvin Ridley as much as you really thought that they would have so far. He's only got 23 or 25 receptions. He has a couple touchdowns. But even when they were overseas, you weren't like he caught a touchdown pass in one of the games, but they're going to the wide receiver Ingram a lot more. There's a lot of checkdowns happening in that offense. So I'm gonna go with New Orleans. I do think that Derek Carr has had some empty passing yards in some of the games he's had, but I just think that coming back from Europe, then having to go to New Orleans, the Superdome is loud even when they suck. They're going to go ahead and pretend that the New Orleans Saints are LSU. And I think that the Saints are probably going to pull this one out.
All right. Next game here.
I'm taking the points.
Right,
points.
right.
Yes, okay.
Next game, we've got the Bills at the Patriots. Bills are 8.5-point favorites on the road. I will go real quick here. Give me the Bills to cover the 8.5 points. We are awful, and I will leave it at that.
The Bills win by 8.
I swear to God.
Okay, so you're taking
7.
So you're taking the other team?
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So because Sarasota doesn't have an NFL team, Nestor just doesn't know football apparently. You gotta take the Bills in this. I mean, at one point, the Patriots allowed 69 unanswered points.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. You want to talk about fall from grace, Jesus Christ. But I'm gonna think that Josh Allen and the team are gonna be able to score enough points, and it kind of sounds like Mac Jones isn't even gonna finish a game.
Right.
Against Buffalo, and it's not even going to be Zappy coming in, the next great white hype in the AFC East, outside of Josh White. So it's just bad going on in New England right now. I'd be a liar, Jalen, if I wasn't taking a lot of satisfaction in it.
Okay.
I hate that you're hurting, but I love that they're losing. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bills with the 8.5.
I'm glad someone's getting some joy out of this.
Nestor.
Nestor already gave his.
Yeah.
What was your pick?
No, that was
He said that the Bills would win by 8, so he's got to take the Patriots and the points.
No.
He just did it.
Well, no, if he said the Bills have to win by 8, then he's taking the Bills.
Oh yeah.
I said watch them win by less. Oh no, I'll take the Bills just because I don't trust that in your own. I mean, fuck that Patriots offense. So yeah, give me the Bills.
Nor should you. G Money.
Yeah, it's sad to see the Patriots fall like they have.
No,
and you know, if there was one thing with the Bill Belichick team you could really count on, was the defense. Their defense always played well. This season, not so much. And the defense hasn't played well. There is no offense. And I started to think about this because Bill O'Brien was the offensive coordinator at Alabama when Matt Jones was there. I'm like, why is there a disconnect now? Why can you not figure it out?
Because he doesn't Waddle and Jalen Smith or Devontae Smith as his wide receivers.
Yeah.
Well, that may
Without
be true, but I
Waddle-
mean, you can if you're a good OC, you can figure it out. I mean,
Devontae Parker.
Shanahan makes it work in San Francisco with Brock fucking Purdy. I mean, you know. But I'm taking the Bills. I mean, the only bright spot in this for a Patriots fan is that you could get like a top 3 draft pick,
right?
And you could look at a quarterback. But chances are, if Bill Belichick is the GM, you're drafting someone, probably drafting a D lineman or something.
Please stop.
Well, I'll say this: he doesn't even want Mac Jones as his quarterback. He doesn't even like him.
Right.
My biggest fear is that
Don't like anybody.
they get someone like Caleb Williams. That's my biggest fear.
All right.
You guys are in the running.
Yes, and we better
don't-
not start messing
don't
around
buy
with winning
his
games.
jersey, Jalen.
I wouldn't do that.
Do not buy the man's jersey.
Next game, we've got
Yeah, do it. He'll do it.
the Lions.
If they get Caleb Williams, they're going to buy the jersey.
Lions going to the Ravens. Ravens are 3-point favorites at home. Nestor, who do you like here?
Well, the Ravens are at home. Lions are 5-1. I don't see them going up, doing this much longer. They have to take another L eventually. And besides feelings, the Detroit Lions have their entire running offense hurt. Jameer Gibbs is hurt. If he plays, it's a risk, huge risk you're taking, because Montgomery's definitely not playing. He has a rib injury. And if you play him, well, you're just stupid. And then Craig Reynolds is straight up trash. He's like A.J. Dillon, but worse. He's just, you pick up some yards, like maybe 1 or 2. That's about it. So, I don't know. Give me the Ravens to cover this one. Detroit is losing this game without some running offense.
All right, Malin.
On Detroit, I actually think they're the best team of football. I know that they got some running backs hurt. Not the biggest point of their offense. The Ravens, incredibly inconsistent. When are we going to start realizing that Lamar Jackson is not Lamar Jackson of 2019? It's just that offense is just so inconsistent. But Detroit's defense is pretty goddamn good. Outside of the Seattle game, they're holding people to not a lot of points. And Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield was running some shit up until that game, and they made Tampa look like a JV squad, in some Northeast Ohio high school team. So I'm gonna go with Detroit in this game. I think they'll definitely cover. So, on Detroit.
G Money.
Yeah, Detroit's 4-1 against the spread. The one game that they didn't cover was against my Seahawks. Denver's 3-2, and I just don't. I just don't see it. Put me on the fucking Detroit hype train, and I'll be the conductor because I think they're for real, and I'm just not sold on Baltimore. They just don't seem to be able to do it when they truly need to do it. I think Detroit will win this game, so I'll take Detroit and the points.
I've got to agree. Even with the Detroit's hurt running game, like Malin said, Baltimore has just been very inconsistent. I thought Lamar played at least a great first half last game overseas, but you just don't know what Raven squad you're going to get, and that's been their story this past couple years. But Detroit this year, we know exactly what we're going to get with them. And with that being said, they do absolutely look like one of the best teams, if not the best team in football right now, because they're playing really, really, really well. Jared Goff's looking good. Amon-Ra St. Brown last week, good God, he just torched the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Run game, schmun game, they didn't even need it because he was just everywhere. And Dan Campbell, hats off to him. He's doing a fantastic job. So with that being said, if you can give me 3 points to the Lions, I will take that. I think it'll be a close game regardless. So no matter who wins, I'll take the points in the Lions. Moving on until the next game, we've got Green Bay and Denver, where Green Bay is. Hold on here, I got this all mixed up. Green Bay 1.5 point favorites to win this going into Denver. Very interesting there. This is 4:30 on Sunday afternoon. Malin, what do you like here?
Well, I hate that you guys put me in this position. I really do. So the law office of Malin and Dennis are put in the position of defending Russell Wilson, and I don't like the position that you guys put me in on doing this. You're talking about a quarterback, even when Sean Payton's dumbass, he's like, how much better is Sean Payton than Nathaniel Hackett? I mean, at this point, at least Russell Wilson has completed 67% of his passes, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But you're talking about somebody in Love that's only completing 55% of his passes. 55%. Okay? He's got 8 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. This Green Bay offense is not good. So the fact that you have to put me on the side of having to pick the Broncos, Jalen, you know what that makes you? An asshole. Because I respect the purple and gold you have behind you, respecting my Washington Huskies. But God damn it, the fact that you put me in a position to pick the goddamn Broncos, that makes you an asshole. Because I do think that the Denver Broncos offense will be efficient enough against the non-efficient Green Bay Packers. And correct me if I'm wrong, it is in Denver, right?
Right.
Yes, it is in Denver.
So I do think Denver will end up getting their second win, and maybe Russell Wilson does not get benched yet, but it will probably happen at some point in the season, but not this game.
All right, G Money.
Yeah, I like Denver. And when you look at the teams, they're fairly even, but when it comes to quarterback, Russell Wilson is head and shoulders above Jordan Love. And
that's saying something because of how short he is.
The game that he had last week where he threw for 95 yards and 2 interceptions. Yeah. I mean, I just don't see him repeating that against the Packers. And as bad as the Broncos have been this year, I think a lot of that has to do with missing personnel leaving, either players or coaches. And Sean Payton wanted to putting his stamp on the team and on the game, and the team not quite ready for that. And let's face it, some of those players have gone through 4 head coaches, so they're probably going like, okay, what the fuck ever, man. You may be here next year, you may not be.
Nestor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Denver again. Hate to repeat myself, but I just feel like for Green Bay, more than Detroit, because I feel like Detroit is eventually gonna need their run game, but this team definitely needs some depth because Jordan Love is not getting it done. Yeah, give me Denver. Aaron Jones is still hurt. This man is not even logging into practice. Don't tell me what. Don't ask me why I know this. But he's not practicing, so he's probably not going to show up. AJ Dillon is trash. Yeah, give me Denver.
I'm going to agree. Last week I said I was selling my Jordan Love stock, so I'm going to stay true to that. I do not believe in Jordan Love right now. And yes, it's bad that the home team is getting a 1.5, but I don't know, Green Bay's offense just seems to be so incompetent. It says a lot because I think it's just slightly more incompetent than Denver's offense. So that being said,
did you have Jordan Love stock? Were you believing in that?
Last week, the hypothetical question was, if you were a fan of the Packers, would you buy or sell? So I said I would sell. So there's that.
I was about to say I was going to offer the Malin and Dennis financial services.
I would buy low.
You're buying.
Keep
I would buy low.
I would sell.
Nestor's picking
55 percentage. I mean, good God, you can't even be a competent NFL starter if you're not even throwing 63% of your passes.
Right. Yeah.
He's 8% off. Get no return on that investment if you're buying that stock.
Nestor's trying to get him for pennies on the dollar right now.
Listen, this episode, I'm opening up businesses. I'm about to make it rich.
Last game. All right, we got a really good one here. Detroit and Baltimore should be good too, but Miami and Philadelphia Sunday night game. Miami is 2-point underdogs on the road. G Money, what do you like here?
I like Miami. Look, we've all seen Philly, and they first of all, their defense is not the same defense they had last year. It really isn't. And their offense just doesn't seem to be, it doesn't seem to be as good. I like Miami. I think Miami's going to put some points up on them. I think probably Miami will score 31, 34 points on them. I really do. And I don't think Philadelphia is going to be able to answer that.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think Miami coming into this one, the fact that they can get, cut into that by 2 points and it's not just the standard 3, says a lot. And like G Money just said, I think that they're going to put up some points because Philly has shown that they can be had this year. They've just, I don't know, they start really weird, start slow, and just underestimate their opponents. And this is the wrong team to do that with because they will score quick, fast, in a hurry, and before they know where they can look back and they're down, 17 points. So I think the Dolphins with 2 points is kind of like a safety net. I'm taking the Dolphins here. So Dolphins +2 for me for sure. Nestor.
This wasn't so easy because the last time I went confident into a big game for Miami, we got shut down. This is a very talented team. I think we can get far, but it's going to be really cold in Philly. And there's going to be a big crowd in Philly. You know what? Give me Philly. I think after this, we're going to go on a big win streak. I think we're going to actually beat the Chiefs. But I don't see it happening starting from here. So just give me Philly -2.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Malin.
So, an interesting thing about Philly's offense. Through the first 7 games of the season last year, go back and look, they averaged 25.8 points a game. Right now, they're averaging 25.1 points a game. The offense isn't really the issue. Okay? The offense was doing what the offense did at the beginning of the year. The defense is not the same when it comes to the Eagles. I mean, hell, they let the Patriots score 20 points on them. They let the Commanders score 31 points on them. The defense has not been as locked down as they were last year. Philly's offense is what Philly's offense is, but they're still inconsistent. Okay? Everyone thinks that Philly's offense is great. Why? Because they remember what Jalen Hurts did in the Super Bowl, where he threw for like 380 yards. But he was only an NFL MVP consideration because of how great Philly was playing last year, but that was offense and defense. They can be had. They just lost the freaking Zach Wilson. Okay? Do I think that Philly's going to score more points against the Dolphins than they did the Jets? Yes, because the Jets have a better defense. But Miami has a better offense. And I don't think that Philly's defense is prepared for that offense. They might not have A-Chain, but they still got Mostert. Waddle's healthy now. They still got Hill. Tua is playing just as good as Josh Allen, as I pointed out earlier. I think that Miami is going to roll on this one. I'm going to go ahead and take Miami and the points to win this one. I cannot believe the Miami fan just picked the Eagles.
I know. This is going to be one of those games where Nestor will be happily wrong.
That's what I'm setting up here.
Win. This is like a Shaq pick.
It is
God,
very,
you can't get rid of him.
very reminiscent of Shaq.
You got the Lakers and Junebug, and you got Nestor with this dumbass pick. He has his own team.
I'm jinxing Philly with this pick.
Is that what you're doing?
This is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, your little headphones there.
Like
Like
Shaq
how
used to do.
small of ears do you fucking have, Nestor, to have headphones fucking little? What the hell is that?
They're very small but precise.
That's how they do it in Sarasota. Well,
Someone cut ears off in
You get
Sarasota.
out of the Amazon Kids pages.
we want to thank you all
Man.
for watching.
Looking at those goddamn headphones right now.
listening.
Those are
We've had an absolute great episode. Once again, big thank you to June. Big thank you to G Money for joining us for another week. Anything else you guys want to mention before we get up out of here?
I would just like to say that my Huskies are going to roll the shit out of Arizona State on Saturday. And hopefully we'll end up in the top 4 when the East Coast bias realizes that the Huskies, purple and gold, are the best team in fucking college football.
There
You think they're going to cover the 26.5 points?
I do. I think we will. History is stacked against us on that against Arizona State, but I think we're going to fucking do it.
Alrighty, very, very well said. That will do it for this week's show, folks. We will see you all next week. Be sure to follow us at AFR Sports on TikTok and Instagram to keep up with us throughout the week. We will see you all next Wednesday night. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we will talk to you all next week. Peace.